Mm. Hi everybody, welcome to another live on Craft Angles. I can see that people have started joining in. So if whoever is joining in could just comment below and let me know if you can hear me properly, see me properly. Can people hear me properly? Guys, do comment if you can see me and hear me properly. Okay. Can Am I audible? Can you guys hear me? Drop a hi if you can. Okay. Okay. Okay, so sorry, I don't know. There was some issue with my chat, so I could not see it. So am I now? I hope that the sound would be better because I'm near to the mic. Hi Shaheen, hi Vinita. Okay. Hi Archisha. So what we will do is let me just change the perspective. Okay. So this was, before I get into what we'll be making today, I wanted to show you what we had done last week. In case you missed out on that, these all lives, whatever we are doing, they are all saved on our YouTube channel and Instagram, depending on where we are going live. Hi Purnima. So this was the page that we did using lots of transfer stamps and all those fun things. In case you missed out, this will be available on our YouTube channel because this was the YouTube live that we did. And today's projects are all going to be about Father's Day. So I hope to do a couple of things. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to do one decoupage project, one card making project, and one tag, so that depending on what you want to gift your father, we are showing you various options using Craft Angles products. Hi Ashwini, thank you Vinita. So what I have done is, as you already know, right, that I made a art journal book for my father because he loves writing. So I decided that I'll repurpose a stand, wooden stand for him, because if he needs to write, he needs to have pens and pencils in it. So I thought, why not gift him a something unique and something special, a pen stand just for him. Hi Parvati. So we'll be making a pen stand for my father using transfer it's, and that will be a decoupage project, and you will see how quick it is to make a custom project for your father. Or you could of course gift it for anyone. Hi Vinita. So these are some of the options on in the father transfer it that we have for father, and the code is 66. Hi Ethel. So this is just a sample that I made, just to see how I'm liking the colors, etc. And we will kind of continue on that concept. So this is a wooden pen stand, and I have kind of gessoed it with some white gesso. So this is Craftangle's white gesso that I have used to, kind of prime it properly so that we can do transfer it on top of it. Now I've already shown you how to do gesso and stuff here, so I'll not repeat that again. We have already covered it in Decoupage Basics. Hi Mona Lisa, hi Sushma. So what I'll do is I'll start off with what designs I want to do. So my idea is that I want this best dad to come over here, and then I will be using one of these quotes to come on the sides. So two sides will be black and white and two sides will be colored. So what I'll do is I'll start by fussy cutting the transfers. Okay, you don't have to be like extremely perfect. You can just cut around it, and also the designs are fairly easy to cut. So Purnima, these are transfer rates by Craft Angles. We have more than 375 designs available on our website. I'll ask someone to add the link of the transfers. You will also, if you go to our website also, you'll be able to see all the designs of the transfers that we have. There is a banner on our page from where you can see. So I'll just cut out all the designs that I want. Hi Nadia. Hello AK Chauhan, if I'm spelling it correct. Hello Amajala. Thank you, Vinita. I hope you like the transfers that you have placed in your cart. And then for this is the one that I'll use. So I'll cut that as well. Now these transfer rates are so versatile that I'm using this for a pen stand, but you could definitely, like, if your father loves coffee, etc., you could use it to make your own custom coasters. If your father is into, let's say, coin collection, etc., then you can use this and make custom journal for him, so on and so forth. So you can definitely use it in many ways. It's not just the pen stand like how I'm talking about. You can also use it on candles. A lot of our customers use these transferits on candles. So now what I'll do is I'll open these and remove the backing. Okay, so this is how the plastic backing comes off. And then I'll kind of eyeball it to be the center of my pen stand. Okay, and I will press it firmly so that there are no bubbles on top of it. Thank you, Sushma. Thank you, Vinita. I'm happy that people are liking it. Also, for those of you who have been buying transfer rates, and a few people did say that many of them were out of stock. So I'm happy to inform you that they have been added back in stock. So you can see by just adding water and then removing, I was then just sliding the paper, I was able to get the impression. So next what I'll do is I'll take a tissue, yeah, to dab the excess water. Okay, because I want to move on to the sides. Then here we'll use this one which says Happy Father's Day. Okay. Again, same thing, taking a little bit of water in my sponge and adding it on top of the sheet. giving it a second to react, and we are done. Okay, just remove the excess water. I'll dry this probably before I move on to other side. Indeed, Vinita, these are perfect, and you can literally like upcycle, up purpose stuff. You can make something for gifting your friends and family, or even if you are doing it custom orders for your clients, you could also use them there. And these are also perfect for your like mummy and kids time, because this can also be done with kids. There are no sharp objects, nothing. Yeah, while this dries, we will move on to here. And now what I want to do is, of course, I just don't want to keep it like this because it looks very bare. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of going to do some stamping on top of it. And for that, I have selected some of the masculine stamps from Craft Angles. Now there are a lot of options to select from, like you could do crackle, which will give you crackle effect, etc., etc. However, I thought this argyle pattern and this old newspaper pattern, which is one of my favorite, like you have seen me use this in almost every project because it's like very versatile stamp. So I thought we'll stamp using these two stamps on top of here, to create a pattern. Now the ink pad that I am using is Versafine Onyx Black because it is a waterproof ink pad. However, you could use anything of your choice, be it archival or some other brand. But the idea is you need a waterproof ink pad. So now what I'm doing is I'm just inking certain section which I want, and then I'll be stamping it over the areas where I want. And again, I'm not being like extremely precise. I'm just going to like put pressure in certain areas. And you can see it did not give me like perfect stamping. And that is what, it adds to the beauty. It kind of creates the abstract pattern. Yeah. And then if you want less pressure, if you don't want it to be extremely black, you can add less pressure. So same thing I'll do here. Now remember this time, this ink does take a couple of minutes to dry. So, don't just go on shifting your shifting your pen stand, because you don't want the colors to spread. And then I will take argyle stamp and I'll just stamp in certain sections. Okay. And here I will also do the same. And now I'll have to dry this. Hi, Craving Crafts. Oh, that's awesome to hear, Vinita. So this is how it looks. Okay, now here is the area which is left. So I'll complete that as well. So, for those of you who joined in late, we are making Father's Day projects today. So, the first thing that I'm tackling is this pen stand for my father, because if you remember and if you joined my earlier projects, you know that I made like a journal for him. So, I wanted to gift him a pen stand as well, in which he can keep his pens. So, this is the first thing that we are making, and then we'll be making Slimline card, and then we'll be doing a couple of tags. Yeah, Parvati is right. We do have a giveaway going on, monthly mega giveaway. So don't forget to tag your friends who will be interested, and don't forget to share this live as well, because it's pure share and win uh, mega giveaway that we are doing this month. Hi, Suman. So while that dries, I'll do is I'll show you varnishing on one side, and then it's fairly repetitive process. So I will do it on other sides later on. But once your ink is completely dry, you will have to protect the surface, right? So for that, you have Craft Angles varnish, which a lot of people have loved, those who tried it out. So I would highly suggest that if you are a decoupage artist, do give our varnish and decoupage glue a try. It's been loved by many. And we will kind of seal the project. Now I can see the ink is shining, so it's not completely dry. So I'll just dry. So Vinita, on giveaway, we will giving away supplies worth 5,000 to 10 people. So it is going to be a goodie bags 500 each, that will be shipped out to place of your choice within India. So to win that, there are certain things that you need to do. Again, all the details are available on Instagram and our Facebook page. So those of you who are interested in winning some Craft Angles goodies can, definitely check the same out. And also, of course, share it with your crafty friends, share it in your favorite crafty groups, tag your friends who would be interested in learning more about this art, and who would be interested in making custom gifts for their fathers. So here I am kind of adding my first coat of varnish. So normally I like to add two coats of varnish on most of my projects. If there are a lot of wear and tear, like if you are doing an outdoor pot, then I would suggest that you do three coats, or two coats are more than enough. So we'll let this dry. Now I could dry this with heat tool as well, or I could let this air dry. I'll dry this with heat tool, will be super quick. Hi Vaishali. That's lovely, Craving Crafts. I would love to see, the fridge magnet. Do tag us when you share it on social media. I'd love to see what you have made. Thank you, Parvati. So now my first layer has dried. So you can see, you can easily use heat gun on it, not an issue. And then I'll add second layer, and that's enough, right? Because this is an indoor item, so two layers are more than enough. Now I'll let this dry naturally, and we will see how it looks at the end of the session. And meanwhile, we'll move on to the next project, because today I have a lot of plans for you for Father's Day. So I'll let this dry over here. True, true. So liquid glaze is also amazing. This is varnish. Liquid glaze gives you more, like, more like resin like look, but I know of people who use it with a card or a brush and spread it just like varnish. So liquid glaze also you can use like varnish, and one coat is also more than enough. Thank you, Vinita. I had this doubt, like if you want to do stamping on coasters and we don't have permanent ink. So if you don't have permanent ink, Nirja, what you can do is you cannot, ideally you don't do stamping after varnishing, because varnishing is to protect your project, right? So if you do stamping after that, over the period of time it will go off. What you can do is use chalk paints. So craft angles chalk paints can also be used for stamping. It will not give you perfect impression. So if you're looking for perfect impression, I would suggest, invest in a good permanent ink pad. If you are okay with having uneven impression, use chalk paints. They will also work beautifully. So Sayani, I am using Craft Angles varnish. So these are Craft Angles Transfer It, Craft Angles stamps, and Craft Angles varnish that I am using. They are all available on Handmade website. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Vinita. So next up, I had promised, I'll do a couple of cards for Father's Day, because we have some lovely Father's Day stamps, that I would highly recommend you collect if you are into card making and doing custom tags and stuff like that. So these are the three stamps which I had showed you in our last live, which I said, that I'll be using. So this is Happy Father's Day. This is best guy ever, and don't mind, I lost the packaging, so don't mind, this is how the stamp look. It's one of our oldest stamp, and this is Dad My Superhero. Okay, so we'll be making slimline card because a lot of you had been asking for slimline cards. So I thought, why not do it today? And we'll also make a Father's Day card as well. Because normally I have always been doing A2 cards, so I thought I'll do some slimline cards today. I suggest using a fixative. Yeah, so even Vinita is right in that case, you don't need to varnish at all. You can use aerosol spray. So aerosol spray also works beautifully. It's just that people don't prefer using aerosol spray because it's not environment friendly. But of course, if you don't have ink, you can definitely do that. So this is what I will be using for cards. So this is Craftangles Slimline Notelets. So Craftangles has a completely different category of product called as Notelets, which contains corresponding 10 card base and 10 envelopes. So you get 10 cardstock to make your own custom cards, and you get corresponding envelopes. So if you are a card maker or a person who likes to do bulk orders, then you don't have to sit and make each and every card base. So what I have done is I have kind of already scored them in half and kept them ready for the project. And all you have to do is once you score them, or just fold them in half, and you are ready to go. Okay. So this is how the card base looks like. And then you have a corresponding envelope for it. So for this, I plan to do a lot of stamping and create a rainbow colored card. So I'll use my make art station to make the cards, because I want these to, kind of stay stable, and I want it to be aligned properly and everything. So now you know that a lot of times I have talked about this in my video, that whenever I want things to be aligned and properly spaced, I use this tool. So this backing is completely magnetized, and then you have magnets which will keep everything in place, and you have a scale which will help you with alignment. Now, this is an expensive tool because it's a tool. So I would suggest that you only invest in this if you are a full-time card maker. I do a lot of cards for my videos, so that is why, I have invested in it. Of course, you can use scale and, put tapes and make sure that everything stays in place. Since I already have this tool, I'll be using it. Now, this tool is also available on our website in case you are curious on what is this tool. That tool's name is Make Art Station. This is by Wendy Vecchi by Ranger Company. Now these are the ink pads that I'll be using. I'm using kind of a combination of tubby inks and memento inks for stamping. Now I know a lot of people in India have tubby inks, so I thought, I'll use tubby in few of my videos as well. Okay, I missed out on one color. Just give me a second. So we are going to do rainbow stamping and we'll go like violet blue. So let me just align everything. Yellow, orange and red. Okay. So I have aligned all my colors in a straight line. Oops. Okay. And I'll start stamping. Because, if I don't align them, I sometimes tend to forget the correct order. So I thought I'll first align them. Okay, so now we are ready to stamp, and the stamp set that I'm going to use is going to be this, which is called Best Guy Ever. It has some beautiful elements which you can use for like a masculine card or a Father's Day card. Okay, so I'm going to use this tie and I'm going to repetitively stamp it in a rainbow order. You could, of course, use this shoes as well. They would also look very cool. So I'm just kind of first checking what is the size. Okay, just okay. So scale won't be needed because my stamp is of the exact size as my card base. Okay, and now I have to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors, right? So what I'll do is I'll start off with two ties in the center and then I'll space it evenly. Now again, I am doing it like I am eyeballing it. If you are a perfectionist, you could definitely divide it in 6 parts and create a center and mark it and do all that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are the two colors that I'll be using in the center. Yeah. So I'll first start off with green. Now, since you are using a solid stamp which has comparatively more area to stamp, you have to put good enough pressure. So, put a lot of elbow grease in it so that you know that it is stamping properly. Okay. And you can see it has stamped quite well. All the areas have been covered. Next, I'll use this yellow color, which is lemon yellow. I'm cleaning my stamp in between using a tissue, right? So that there is no color transfer. Yes, Parvati, true. It makes life easier. But again, it's only for people who are into a lot of card making, or else I don't feel that it would be worth it. So again, eyeballing stuff before I place it and then I place it properly. Put a lot of effort on my stamp, making sure everything is stamped correctly. And I'll remove it, clean my stamp. Okay. And then we will start doing one on each side. I think here we'll be left with some space, but we can definitely trim it. Thank you, Aishali. Yes, this stamp is like one of the oldest craft angle stamp. Like there have been a lot of projects using this stamp set. Now I'm using the orange color, making sure I eyeball the spacing properly. Okay. Then I'll do red. Like whenever you are doing these kind of multiple stamping and you are not sure if you'll be able to space it properly, always start from the center. That's one thing I've learned the hard way. Acha, you're talking about notelets. Yes, yes. I completely agree. After notelets, like I don't use anything else. They are so easy. Notelets are a time saver, life saver. So we are done with these colors. I will put everything here and then we'll do the last two colors. Okay. See, I did not clean it properly. The blue and the red reacted to give me purple. You want to clean your stamp thoroughly. That's blue. And now we'll do final, which is going to be violet. Now, have you had this issue? Like for me, there is not a lot of difference between indigo and violet. Like whenever I do a rainbow card, my rainbow is six colors. Do you guys face that issue? Like as a child, also, I have never understood like indigo and violet. Yeah, slimlines, I agree. Slimline, especially, there is a lot of people who use different size. So the ones which Craft Angles has the notelets are kind of standard size. That's most of the people in US use most of the brands because it is primarily something that had started in US. The Slimline card revolution, you could say. विनीता, now you'll have to make a card or something and show me कितना different है. छोड़ूंगी नहीं मैं ऐसे. I have both on my rainbows always. Parvati, you'll also have to show me, yaar. I feel I am the only one who does six color rainbow. So we will trim the edge because I feel this side there is a little bit it's offset, right? So I will just trim that section. But before that, I'll let this completely dry. Now, I have also prepped a couple of more things because I knew, we would kind of not have time to do all those basic steps. So, if you would have already seen my mom live where we made a Mother's Day card, right? I had used this alphabet die by Craft Angle. So, this is basic uppercase, which I had shown you in the live. It's fairly easy die to use. You just pass it once through the machine and it will cut out whatever alphabets you want. So what I have done is I have kind of cut out a couple of alphabets already and kept it ready. So here, of course, you could have stamped it and it would look beautiful, but I wanted to use the black alphabet to make it even more stand out because they are quite large and they look pretty. So that is why I'll be using that. And what else I'll be doing is I'll first. Oh, yes. So, all of you who are interested in joining us in our creative journey, our design team call is also open. you can apply for it. And in case you have queries, there is Parvati, Mona Lisa, who is from our design team. They can help you with any queries that you have. So it is approximately 1 inch from the violet end. So I'll remove this much. I think will be good. Ah, see, see, this my trimmer's blade is gone, so it's giving me issue. I'll cut it with scissor. I have to replace the blade of my trimmer now. Wow, what a tidbit, Vinita. Thank you for the lesson. I did not know. I knew that there was a yellow color, like the turmeric yellow, that was originally made in India. So it was made from cow dung. That is how they used to get that pigment originally. So they used to make buffaloes and animals eat turmeric, and then they used to create that pigment. Now that we think we have synthesized pigments, these all sound so funny. The way they used to traditionally extract pigments. But I never knew, like, India had like indigo. Indigo was one of the pigment which was from India, which was primarily traded from India. So thank you for the tidbit. So many things you don't know about India after even after living here and constantly searching about it. So now that my stamping is all done and dry, what I'll do is I will start working on my focal point or my sentiment that I want to add. Now, this is a very versatile stamp set, as I said. It could be like congratulations on your new job. It could be like for a father, for a gentleman, like thank you for being there. Will you be my man? Those kind of cards. But since we are doing a Father's Day card, we will be using these words, which says dad. And you could of course foam mount it. That will add even more cool effect. However, what I have decided is I will just simply stick them, and because foam mounting will take some time. I really love foam mounting my cards, but they are very time consuming. Like, I cannot imagine doing them in my life. So now what I'm doing is, since I know that there are six ties and they are kind of equidistant, so I'm putting this between second and third tie. So same ways I'll put this between second and third tie, and this will go in the center, right? So I'm using the ties as my guide and kind of placing everything. And now that I'm happy after placing everything, I'll just remove this and see if the placement looks good and all that. So I like how everything is there. And then here I'll add one more sentiment. Okay. And I'll put my, okay. So I'll remove this and I'll start putting the alphabet. Acha, Parvati, you also knew. I never knew, yeah, about the indigo pigment. And yeah, I know that blue pigment is expensive and all that. Interesting. Knowing that we work in colors, I still don't know that. Weird. So I'll just start sticking my stuff. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Craving Craft. Thank you, Ashwini. So, what are you guys doing for Father's Day? Like, do you have any special plan? At my home, I feel, we celebrate Father's Day more than Mother's Day because my father, he enjoys all these things. Like, if I give handmade items to my mom, she's like, ha, acha hai. And then she'll keep it inside. My father, he enjoys looking at it, he'll give me feedback, etc., etc. Thank you, Vinita. पार्वती यार, स्कूल में पढ़ा तो बहुत कुछ है, याद कितना रहता है. But I don't even remember reading it in school. Huh? Yeah, yeah, he is a big support system of my handmade stuff. He really loves whatever I make, and he gets like involved whenever he gives me feedback. He's like, you could have done this better, you could have done that better. So that he puts that thought process. मेरी मम्मी का तो हाँ ठीक है अच्छा है. So now I'm thinking I'll use sentiment from this stamp set, and I was thinking I'll do like you know the superhero I grew up watching, or I may do Dad You Are Awesome as well. So I'll do Dad You Are Awesome. So this is from the same stamp set that we just used the tie from. So this stamp set is Best Guy Ever, and I'll use this Dad You Are Awesome. So what I'll do is I have this scrap pieces that are left over from die cutting. So I'll just use them. Okay. Nice to know, Nirja, that your mom enjoys you, but at the end of the day, you always have that one parent in your life who is going to enjoy. So that's great. In my case, my father is that. So, I always enjoy making handmade gifts for him. So, this is the sentiment that we have stamped, which says, Dad, you're awesome. And what we'll do is we'll add some foam tape. Now, these squares are comparatively easier to foam mount, right? So, that is why I prefer to add foam tapes on such kind of rectangles rather than alphabets, because alphabets are tricky, you have to like cut them extra thin and all that. So I kind of find it boring that I'll have to cut such tiny, tiny pieces to foam mount alphabets. But foam mounting sentiments is comparatively very easy. So I'll take this blue double-sided foam tape that's available on handmade website, and I'll simply add it in the back. And where is my knife? Yeah. I'll use my craft knife to kind of. Thank you, Ashwini. Then I'll again, eyeball it and add it in the center. Now, if you guys know me, you know that there is one thing I'm going to do after this, and that is adding splatters. Because, I always love to add splatters on my card. So I will use same colors for all splatters on my project. So that's going to be these gold color. So this is Craftangle's watercolor pans, and they're extremely shimmery and potent, as you can hopefully see on the screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit, and I'm going to add like this kind of splatter, and they will add like shimmery effect on my card. Now, normally I would go with black splatters as well, but today I thought why not add some shine. Normally in my masculine project, I always go for black splatters rather than shimmers. Thank you, Kanchan. So this is our first card, and I'll let this dry as well. Now for my second card and last card for today, that's also going to be a slimline. Oh yes, June is Pride month. You are right. So rainbow goes well. You are absolutely right, Parvati. I did not think of it, but yeah, serves dual purpose. So that was the first card. Now, second card, I wanted to do something different. So what I decided was I'll use this as a focal point because a lot of time, silhouette stamps are kind of difficult to imagine on how you can use them. So what I was thinking is we'll do some ink blending here, and for that I'll use again a combination of tubby because a lot of people in India seems to have it, and I'll also use two distressing colors because like I have a complete collection of it. So I'll use those, and I'll also use stubby. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of create a landscape using ink blending. Okay. So I'll keep my colors over here, and I'll also use a paper in the backing to protect it. And this cardstock is now this cardstock that I'm using is dual textured white. Now I'm using dual textured white specifically because it is a cardstock by Craftangles that is meant to be used with ink blending. Okay, so that is why I'm using dual textured white. And whenever you're doing ink blending and you are using Craftangles cardstock, always remember use dual textured white. Absolutely craving craft. So I have used sentiment sheets in a lot of my cards. I also use the transparent sentiment sheets as well, transparent stickers in my cards. In fact, I know quite a few of you have asked me how to use potted plants in my cards. So probably, whenever I do my card making session, I'll try to accommodate that in my card as well, just to show you how you can stretch your journaling supplies. But this was primarily today's cards. I wanted to do, focus on those Father's Day stamp and stuff. So you can see I'm using these ink blending brushes and I'm kind of starting slow, and I'll build my color up. Okay. And then I'll do blue color. So now since I'm right-handed, I prefer blending through my right side. So I'll just flip this over and I will move this here, and I'll start doing pink, and then here we'll blend pink and green. So first I'll start with my base color, which is light blue. Now this ink pad is almost over. So, I'll have to put in extra effort. So Parvati, both side works well. However, the glossy sides gives you a very glossy effect. So that is why I personally prefer matte side. But when I did the testing, so I have a video where I have done ink blending with like 10 15 cardstocks, and there I have tested different cardstock including Nina, which I know a lot of Indian artists use, that which cardstock will give you better ink blending. So in that case, I have shown both the glossy and the matte side. However, personally, I prefer the matte side to be used in the ink blending. So what Parvati is asking is, since dual textured white, as the name suggests, has two textures, right? Dual texture. So there is one glossy side and one matte side. And a lot of time what happens is many people are confused that whether I use the glossy side or matte side. So I'm just want to let you know that you'll be able to blend on both the sides. Personally, I prefer matte side because it gives me more of a matte look. Now I am switching towards the darker color, which is chipped sapphires, only at the edges. And you can see how light my brush is. Like I'm not putting any effort at all because I don't want a lot of dark colors on this card. It's just I'm using it to ground my edges of the card and to just give a little bit of interest to my sky. Do try it, Craving Crafts. I think it will be fun. and I always like to use my supplies in many ways. So you would actually have seen my cards where I have used chalk paint as a paint, because I really love how beautifully chalk paint works and how matte effect it gives. Yeah. So now I'm happy with the edges. I'll come back in the center and I'll blend it further. Absolutely, Parvati. Good you bought it up. If many people are asking, it's always, and especially lives are meant for that. So if you have any queries in terms of products, etc., do ask them in live. You will hopefully get an answer to them. If I don't know, I will try and get back to you, because I may not know as well, but it's a good place to start. So that's it about how, the blue looks. I will now start blending the blues and the greens. Okay. So I'm kind of switching between my green brush and my blue brush, because here I have started blending between the two colors. Oh, sorry. And I want to create like a more blended background. I don't want this white to be there. Now, whenever you're blending the areas, like this is a tip that I personally learned from experience, is that make sure that whenever you are blending the areas, you start the two areas which are next to each other, you blend them together, because while you are applying like these dyings, they are kind of wet, right? So they'll react with each other easily. Now if you start here and you start from here and then you expect it to blend, it will take a lot of effort to blend, because this ink has already dried. Now do you see I did that mistake? Instead of going with the light color, I went with a dark color. So that is why you see that spot where I applied chipped sapphire by mistake, which is a dark blue. Not an issue, since the ink is wet, I am kind of able to blend it out. And now I'll go back with green just to add a little bit more green. And that's it. That's how it blended. Okay. I'm happy with how the blending looks now. Thank you, Ashwini. So what I'll do is, since these inks, they tend to be wet for longer time, I'll just dry them once. Okay. And what we are going to do is we are going to do some super cool stamping on top of it. Okay. So for that, I will be using this. Where did the stamp set go? Okay. So I'll be using that my superhero stamp set. And this silhout is what I'll be using. Now this is a fairly big stamp, right? This is a completely A2 card sized stamp set. So I will be putting a lot of effort while stamping it. If you are using a stamping tool, then you can go back multiple times and stamp it. Since I'm using a stamping block, I have to make sure that I stamp it properly in first go itself, right? So what I'll do is, I'm not sure if it will stamp properly on this tool, so I'll keep it aside. I'll keep this on my table. And I'll first try and place and see where I want my character to go. Okay, this is good. I'll take my ink pad. Yes, Parvati, I'll be adding it later on. So I thought I'll first stamp the character and then I'll add splatters of water. That's a beautiful hack to make sure that, there are no issues. And you can also obviously go back with water and remove it, like, dab it with paper. But that I feel leaves a kind of a blot personally for me. So I prefer the splatter technique. So now I can see that, it's all juiced up. And now I'll have to stand because I want to put enough pressure on my card. Okay, so I'm standing right now and I will place it wherever I want it. And then I'll put in a lot of pressure. Make sure that you put all your pressure because this is a big stamp. Okay. And now, fingers crossed. Do you see? It looks like I just painted it. The trick to doing such kind of big stamping is put in a lot of pressure and keep a flat surface like a table in the back. Now on the now first things first, we'll add some splatters with just some water. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Parvati. Thank you, Mona Lisa. Thank you, Firdausi. Thank you, Vinita. Both Vinitas. This is one of my favorite stamp set, guys. Trust me, it looks amazing. Once it is stamped properly, the only trick is you should know how to stamp it properly. And now I'm adding very light splatters of water on top of my card. Very light, like it's raining and snowing, that kind of an effect. So I'm using my smallest brush. This is 0 number and I'm taking some water and splashing it. Okay. And we'll let this dry. Meanwhile, I am thinking what should I put on the sentiment of the card, right? So for that, I was thinking, of course, we could use any of the pre-printed sentiment like how Craving Craft suggested. But I was thinking we'll use this card, which is this sentiment, which says the superhero I grew up watching. Okay. So this is also from the same set, which is Super Dad. So I'll be using that. So I'll take my acrylic block and I'll take my VersaFine ink. Yeah, Vinita is always on hold. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you, Firdausi. So I'll just trim this. Like you could create banner and stuff as well. I'm just doing simple rectangle because this is just like a supporting sentiment that I want on my card. The whole focal point of my card is the blended background and the silhouette guy that we did. Which colors you use for blending? So for blending, I have used Tubby inks and Distress inks by Tim Holtz, and I have used Craft Angles ink blending brushes. And the cardstock is Ritu Craft Angles Dual Textured White, which I have used for blending. And that is what we recommend if you want to do blending. Like this gives beautiful effect for blending. And this is how I'm going to add the sentiment. We'll let this dry for a couple of seconds. Okay, meanwhile, I'll dry this. So, do you see that by adding those small splatters, what like we got a feeling like there is stars in the sky or it is raining very lightly. So, with different kind of splatter effect, you can get different effects. So, never underestimate the power of splatters. So, this is how I'm going to put my cardstock. Okay, now you could use like Fevicol for it. What I'll do is I'll use this red tape because it's faster and it will not take time to dry. However, you could use Fevicol as well. Thank you, Parvati. That I have learned the hard way. I was ready to throw a couple of projects because they were not perfect. और फिर मैंने थोड़ा splatter डाला और they started looking beautiful. So never underestimate. Thank you, Hetal. Mm. I'll just make sure that there are no bubbles left in the tape. And then I'll take my craft knife and just remove the backing. I've already cut a midnight black cardstock. This is Craft Angle's midnight black cardstock. I think 250 or 300 GSM. So this will kind of frame my panel that I have created, and it will tie in with the black stamping that I have done. Okay. So this is how it looks, and then we will add it on our card base. So where is my card base? Yeah, it's here. So this is the ready-made card base, the notelets, slimline notelets that we talked about. Okay. And then I will add this here. Okay. Now you could add foam tape as well. That will also look beautiful, but I thought I'll keep it flat. So again, I'll use red tape. And then at the end, we'll add our sentiment and final splatters of gold color. Thank you, Parvati. Thank you, Mona Lisa. Thank you, Nadia. I just wished that when I started crafting, somebody would have given me these tips. Trust me, guys, I wasted a lot of time and a lot of effort while doing all these art forms. Okay. So I'll take my like station back because I want my card to lay flat. It's kind of moving. So what I'll do is this will make sure my card remains flat while I stick stuff on top of it. Thank you, Vinita. And then for the final step, before we add sentiment, oops, some black color transfer. Okay. So now I will add some gold splatters just because I wanted to, like, have some like shiny bits. Now I'm not going to overdo it. I'm just going to add a little bit here and there. That's it. And we will add our sentiment, which says the superhero I grew up watching. एब्सोल्युटली वो तो अभी मेरे लाइव देख के पता च आई हैव टू लिटरली व्हेनेवर आई एम डूइंग कैश कार्ड्स जहाँ पे आई हैड डिसाइडेड कि मेरे को स्प्लैटर्स नहीं डालने हैं आई हैव टू कंट्रोल माई सेल्फ कि ख्याति स्प्लैटर नहीं डालने हर चीज में स्प्लैटर नहीं चाहिए so now I want to put this word dad over here. I'll directly stamp and then over here I'll do superhero that I grew up watching. So that's the layout like I have decided. So this dad word is also from the same stamp set. This superhero watching is also from the same stamp set. So essentially, I have used everything from the same set, which is dad my superhero. And here I will add some foam tape. And I will take my knife, remove the backing. So that is our second card. So this was more of a like, you know, uh, scenic card. And this was more of a simple colorful cast card. So these are the two cards. Again, I tried to make one vertical, one horizontal, so you'll have options. And now this is how the shimmers look after drying. So let me just, do you see all that shimmer? The gold shimmers. So that is a rainbow colored card. And this is more of a simple scenic card. So those were the two cards that two slimline cards as asked by you, which I made today. Now, upcoming tutorials that are coming next week, I decided to make a couple of more Father's Day card. These will all come next week. So this is actually a card which I made for my father. So this is me being a super girl and giving it to my father, who has been my superhero. So this is the card that I made. Then the next one is the same stamp set on an A2 card base. And this is kind of a splattered colored look that I created just for some fun. I wanted to try out something different. So I really like how this background turned up. And then this is more of a simple card using the same tie set. However, here I have used one color and I have kind of created a background, and then it says Happy Father's Day. And inside is something which is cool, which it talks about, like, dad and what are the sentiments about dad. Like, he's most generous ATM, he's best taxi driver, cheapest handyman, my superhero, and wisest counselor. So that brings me to the last part of our life, which is making some quick tags. Now we all need those quick tags, right? Whenever you are making like for anything, you're gifting your father, your mother, or even anybody. So I thought, why not create show you a very quick way in which you can make very quick tags with the right set, right? So what I'm doing is I have this like this is a backing of transfer it that I'm using, and I will make very quick tags within like 10 minutes to show you how easy it is to make your own custom tags for your gifts that you give out to your family. Okay. Thank you, Inita. Thank you, Firdausi. Thank you, Ashwini. Thank you, Parvati. Thank you, Craving Crafts. Thank you, Nadia. So these are the four, like I have cut them out of dual textured cardstock. These are the four cutouts that I have created. And for this, I have used our stitched dies. So these are our stitched circles and stitched ovals that I have used. And I have just created this like four random sized, tag sized cardstock cutouts. Okay. And then I will show you how quickly you can make your own backgrounds, like within seconds. So I take a little bit of paint. This is Craftangle's liquid watercolors that I'm using. So I'm using one yellow, one green, one red, and one blue. Now, if you are in market looking for liquid watercolors, right, and I would highly suggest you start with these four colors and one black color. Like, if you are asking me, Khyati, where should I start from if I'm looking for Craftangle's liquid watercolors, try these four watercolors out. They are amazing and they'll work out beautifully on your project. And I'll take one cardstock cutout. I'll use the matte side, not the glossy one. And I'll just squish. Do you see how light the color has come? Because I did not add a lot of color. Yes, Mona Lisa, the primary shade. So there is a set for primary shade as well that you can buy in case, you're looking for a combo that's even more cheaper. And thank you, Shelly. That is sweet of you. So I'll go back, I'll add more color. It's hot. Now what I'll do is I'll just add, now that I have a light layered applied, I'll just go back, add a little bit of more color. Okay. And I will add another layer of same color. So it will kind of give me a gradient effect. Yeah. And now I'll let this dry while we move on to the next color. Okay. So ideally, the person in me will use these colors on an art journal page so that I can use these colors later. But for the sake of live, right now I'm just cleaning it up. But if you are doing this at home, don't let the color waste. Put this on another project or put this on a scrap paper that you can use as a background for your tags or cards later, or always make multiples. Next up, I'll use this red color, which is Soulmate. Okay. I'll add water. I'll take another tag. Yeah. I will dry this quickly. And I'll add another, like another layer of it. Okay. And I'll now let this air dry. Then I'll take a blue color, do the same thing, repeat the same process. Uh, and this, I will have to pierce it. So sometimes what happens is color gets stuck here in the nozzle and I have to pierce it again just to clean it up. Okay. Now I have to be extremely careful. Okay. And now I'll add some water, add some color over here, and now you can see how vibrant the colors are, right? I'll take this tag. Again, I'll take the matte side. Yeah. Now, dual textured white, which is the cardstock that I'm using, it does take a couple of layers of water and it does not disintegrate like other cardstock. So, you're good to do some basic, these kind of watercoloring with it and it will work out beautifully. I'll clean up the blue again. Now, last color, which is this is called evergreen. Yeah. Just putting a little bit there and I'll take my spray bottle. I'll take another tag, dry the first layer. Thank you so much, Parvati and Mona Lisa. It means a lot, especially when you're saying that not just because I'm in design team, but they are genuinely good. In case any of you are curious on the set that I was talking about, where you get discount, someone from my team has commented on the same, so you can check the same out. Now I'll let the green one also dry. Meanwhile, I'll clean my table. Where did the, okay. Yeah. Of course, you can mix the colors also. They create beautiful pattern. Like you could do a galaxy, you could do a blue and yellow combining and giving you green and all that. This was the most basic way that I was showing you for some quick tags. And now I'll show how you can convert these quick tags, right? For Father's Day, since that is the theme that we are going for today. So I'll keep this aside. Just put everything here. Firdausi, which ink pad are you talking about? The Tubbings, the one which I used to stamp, or the Tim Holtz ones? Like I use three types of ink pads, so I'm not sure which one are you talking about. So I'll dry the yellow one. It is still a bit wet. I'll try the red one also. I'll try the, since I'm drying everything, I'll try the blue and green one as well. Okay. So these are all the tags. They have been dried, and you can see how that, it creates that organic pattern. So this is what I used in my card that I just showed you, the Father's Day card. Where did I keep them? I kind of misplaced them, but the blue, red, and yellow one that I showed you, that is where I had used this technique. So it's just, putting this on top of some water and liquid watercolors by Craft Angles, and you get such kind of beautiful patterns, right? And then you all you need to do is just stamp on them and create some beautiful tags. Now, since today we are making Father's Day tag, I wanted to show you this Happy Father's Day stamp set. This is perfect for insides of your cards or making such kind of tags, right? Because it is all about the sentiment related to father. So it says like father, and it also has like generic sentiment like to the perfect gentleman, and then it has some of the like adjective for a gentleman. Then we have happy father's day, then we have the word dad, then we have what meaning of fatherhood, then we have this father and the corresponding adjectives, then few more adjectives about father's day. So I thought, I'll show you how beautiful the tags come just by using this stamp set. Exactly, craving craft. So they give you that alcohol ink effect without the added, because alcoholing, personally I feel they are a lot of effort, and kudos to those artists who make alcoholing cards. And that is why I wanted to show you this technique, that they give you amazing effects without putting a lot of effort. And that's the best way to do crafting, right? It's all about the hacks. So I'll take my block. Yeah, and I'll start stamping. So for stamping, I'm using again my favorite waterproof ink. Okay. Since again, this has a lot of writings in it, I want to make sure that I stamp it properly. So that is why I will stand and put in all my energy while stamping. So do you see how beautifully it has come? And here I will stamp the word dad. That is also part of the same stamp set. I'll use another adjective one because I really like the adjective ones. It has a lot of funky adjectives that is meant for fathers. Similarly, we also have a Mother's Day stamp set as well, which has all those funky sentiments for a mother. This one I'll keep for a longer one. Again, putting in some effort, making sure it stamps properly. Then we'll do the third one. Third one, I was thinking doing simple Happy Father's Day, nothing fancy. And then here I'll do the bigger one, which has all the words about from father, Father. Hi, Neeta. Yeah. So, like within minutes, I was timing myself. So, I think within 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I was able to do all the stamping and all the coloring. Like 4 tags within 20 minutes is good time. Now, I'll just add this word dad. Okay. So, I'm going to add it in three of them. And then on the back, you can write your own message to your father, like whatever you want to add. And these will make, guys, trust me, these will make beautiful tags for any handmade gift that you are giving your father. Because these, honestly, these sentiments actually quite resonate about what, the importance of fathers is in our lives. And now, as Parvati says, my final touch. Or I'll keep them I'll not do anything. I'll not do any splatters. I'll keep them as is. But do you see how that beautiful, as Craving Craft said, that alcohol ink kind of a look that you got just with watercolors. And this is how we created the tags. And these were the 4 tags that I literally made in 20 minutes using this stamp set and some liquid watercolors. So that was the project for today, guys. We made this. I still need to varnish the area, but this is what we made. We made this decoupage stand, right? We made this two cards, rainbow card. One is rainbow card colorful, and the other is more of a scenery card. Both of them were slimline as asked by you. And then we did these 4 tags, which were very fun. I feel personally these are my favorite out of all of them now that I did them. And thank you, Parvati. Craving Craft, I kind of thought that, let's not do splatters. Because people will think I do so many splatters. Okay, let's do on one of them. So I'll do on one of them because I also want to show you how beautifully they react with water, just like distress ink. So you'll get the same effect that you get with distress inks. So here on the green one, I have added splatters. And now what I'll do is I'll kind of just take away the ink. Okay. So do you see, you get that effect over here. So you get that slight paling of colors because the colors have been lift off. So you can definitely do that good stuff that you do of lifting with Tim Holtz distress inks, that you can do also on these ink pads and on these watercolor inks, and they'll work beautifully. Thank you, Parvati. Thank you, Ashwini. So that was the project for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Next week, we'll be doing a card making session because a lot of you had been asking for card making. We have been doing like quite a lot of mixed media and art journaling. We did a couple of decoupage, but nothing dedicated for card making. So we thought we'll do one for card making, and we'll also do a kind of a poll on our Instagram to see whether you want to see baby cards, birthday cards, things like that. And we'll kind of do one slimline card and one regular card, so that ways you will be able to see more options on how you can use the same stamp set in different ways. So that's what my idea was when I planned to do card making. So we'll also do a poll to kind of understand what you want to see next. So definitely comment or participate in the poll, so we'll know what you want to see, because then you cannot say I want to see that. So I hope you will participate in the poll and tell us which project you want to see next. And next week we'll do card making, and post that we'll do another mixed media session. Parvati, thank you. I also was thinking that hopefully I'll be able to complete it within the stipulated time. So I think 1.5 hours, but it was good enough. Like, I wanted to cover three different type of projects, and I'm happy that I was able to cover them. And thank you, for being so kind to be in live from start to end. All of you, thank you, Parvati and Lisa, especially for making sure you are in all my lives. I know you are there from start to end. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And art journaling challenge, craving crafts, not yet. This month we are doing a mega giveaway. So this month we are doing that. And of course, we do have a blog challenge and Instagram challenge. So you can definitely, do your art journals there. And if yours is the best project, you will definitely win. Like, there is no limit. You can do art journal, you can do watercolors, you can do decoupage, you can do card making. Like, there are a lot of people who do a lot of things. It's all about normally the theme or color that we select. For this month, the theme, I think, for blog is blue color, and the theme is rust or patina. And on Instagram, all you have to do is use our products. So there is no limitation on what you can do. You can use any of our products and make art journal or cards or paintings or alcoholing. Like, we have a lot of products, so you can use any of them. So that was the tutorial for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and it was a fun session. I'll catch you next week with another such tutorials, and we are trying to bring in new faces, so it will be fun. It's not just me for you all. So do keep a lookout for that as well. So take care, guys. I hope we inspired you to make some Father's Day projects for your family and your father. And I hope you enjoy making those. If you make something with our products, like Craft Angles product, do give us a shout out. Do tag me. Do tag Craft Angles. We'd love to see what you make using our products. And it's always fun to see how people use their takes on our products. At least for me, it is amazing that I like to see how you guys use my products. So thank you, Mona Lisa. Thank you, Craving Craft. So that was it for today, guys. Take care. Bye bye. I'll see you next week again.